Hi, everybody. It's Milteer, and welcome to my wonderful brand new podcast called Authentic and Unapologetic. Our topic today is one everyone will want to know a lot more about, which is money. And the topic is actually what wealth actually feels like and why most people completely miss it. If you'd be so kind to hit like and drop a comment, subscribe right now. Your voice matters and your help counts. So let's get started right away. All right, what wealth actually feels like and how you should start living it now. Everybody says they want to be rich. I mean, I don't know anybody who doesn't want to be rich, but here's the truth most people never stop to examine. They don't actually know what rich feels like. They imagine excitement, luxury, big wins, a dramatic moment where everything changes overnight. Well, while those moments can happen, it's not your day to day reality of wealth. Now, here's what real financial freedom feels like. And I've worked very hard to understand this. It feels calm. It feels like waking up and not immediately thinking about money. It feels like not tolerating things you don't want to tolerate, people and places and things. It feels like decisions based on what's right for you, not just what pays the bills. Wealth feels quiet. It feels steady. It feels certain. It's not, I feel rich, super over the top. It's really, to be honest, I'm not worried anymore. Now, here's where most people go wrong. They try to get the money first so they can finally feel rich. But the people who actually create wealth on a consistent basis understand a lot deeper layer about getting wealthy. You don't act rich because you have money. You have money because you become the person who lives that way. Here's where great thinkers were trying to tell us in many books all along. Act as if. It doesn't mean you're pretending. It doesn't mean you're overspending. It doesn't mean you're living in fantasy. It actually means you begin to operate from the emotional state of the result of your work, your timing, everything. So what does that look like in real life? Because a lot of people actually don't understand this. It is absolutely not flashy. It is subtle, but it is very powerful. So you stop making decisions from fear about how you spend your money, how you spend your time. You stop chasing every dollar. You stop saying yes to things that drain you. You start simplifying your environment. You actually start to let go of what you don't actually want anymore, whether it's people, situations, obligations. You just don't need it anymore. Because this is exactly what I see happening right now with people before their lives shift. And I've been a coach a very long time, primarily to entrepreneurial business owners. But here's some powerful questions you might want to ask yourself. If you already had $5 million in the bank, what would you stop doing immediately? You should write that down. What would you walk away from? Please write that down. What would you no longer tolerate? Please acknowledge that. What would you simplify in your life? Where would you spend money today where you haven't been spending it before? And here's the part a lot of people miss. Those are the exact shifts that you can begin right this second, no matter what's in your checking account, start making right now. Because this is not about faking wealth. That old thing, fake it till you make it. I think everybody a long time ago used to use that phrase, but now we know that you can't fake vibration. You can't fake reality. You cannot fake being authentic. It really is about removing the behaviors that belong to lack, that idea of yourself, that old identification of yourself where you felt poor and you felt taken advantage of. Because let me tell you what lack shows up as. It's overworking, overthinking, holding on to things just in case, the MacGyver syndrome, tolerating situations you don't like, working for people or working with people or being around people who are completely obnoxious and just offend you to your core. You don't want to do that. And also making decisions from pressure. So let me tell you how wealth shows up. It shows up with feeling calm, clarity, decisiveness, very clear boundaries, and absolute simplicity. And not having like you have to perform anymore. And here's something fascinating. When people start stepping into that state of feeling wealthy, they notice something. They don't miss what they released. They don't need as much stuff as they thought. Their life starts to feel lighter before their bank account even changes. And really, take note, that's the shift. It's not chasing money, it's not waiting for miracles, but actually becoming the person who naturally expects things to work out, makes clean decisions, values peace over pressure, and actually lives from choice, not obligations. So here's a thought for you. You actually don't need to win the lottery to feel wealthy. But interestingly enough, people who do build great wealth over time almost always arrive at the same place, which is calm, grounded, certain way of living. So instead of asking, how do I get more money? Because that's what everybody asks, try asking, what would be the version of me who already has the money, who already has the security? Or what would I do today? And then actually do that quietly, consistently, without needing anyone else to validate it or you. So here's where the shift begins. So I know this isn't what most people were expecting. They were expecting invest in this or invest in that. But the thing I really want you to invest in is, what are you doing with your own energy, with your mindset, with your actions? Because this is the kind of work I do with my private clients. Because once you're a person who lives in this wealth mentality, everything else starts to follow. So, are you ready to stop thinking about it and actually step into wealth? Well, if this message hits you, it's not by accident. Because understanding wealth intelligently is one thing. Becoming the person who naturally creates it is something entirely different. And this is exactly what I do with my private clients. I don't teach just strategies. I actually help you shift your identity, your decisions, your environment, so wealth becomes a natural outcome, not a constant struggle. You see, I've lived this. I did not come from money. I actually came from poverty. I grew up as a rancher's daughter. I learned to think for myself early, build a life from the ground up, and becoming an international speaker, an entrepreneur, and a best-selling author of 17 books. And it was not by luck. It was not by waiting. It was by understanding how mindset, behavior, and spiritual alignment work together in the real world. So I have something I want to offer to you that calls to you, and it's one of my VIP personal vision quest days in Virginia Beach at my beach house. It is not a seminar. It is not group coaching. It's a one-day private day with me in Virginia Beach. We sit down together one-on-one. We go deep into what is actually holding you back, not what you think it is, where you're still operating from pressure instead of power, the exact shifts needed for long-term wealth, not short-term wins, how to restructure your thinking, decisions, and environments, and how to step fully into the identity that creates freedom. Now, I'm going to let you know right up front, you're not going to leave with a lot more ideas. You already have enough ideas. You're going to leave with something you truly need to create long-term security and wealth in your life, which is clarity, a real plan, emotional certainty, and a completely different way of operating. So if this is for you and you're successful, but you're not fully aligned yet, you're tired of working harder without feeling freer, you're ready to stop tolerating things that drain you, you want real wealth, not just income you constantly have to work for, then I think you might be ready to make a serious shift, not just learn more. So what happens when you spend time with me? You're not going to get just strategies. People who spend time with me start to understand that they think clear again. They make clean, confident decisions. They let go of what no longer fits with a lot more ease. They step into a calmer, more powerful version of themselves, and they see the next chapter with absolute clarity. Because I don't just teach this work, I actually embody it. So if you feel that pull, pay attention. This is not a coincidence. It's you recognizing it's time to step up to the plate. If you are interested in more information, all you need is the right environment, the right conversation, and the right shift. And that's exactly what we'll create together. So you can go to milteer.com, go up to coaching, look down for VIP information, and there will be a link here right for you to see. And you can find out more about how you can create wealth in your life. Because I have spent my entire life deciding, growing up poor, that I wasn't going to be poor anymore. And I certainly wasn't going to just get married for it. I certainly did not inherit it. I learned to do it myself. I can teach you those skills. Come work with me. See you next time.